So, it's been a long time that I have not talked about any title. So, today's title will be How LLMs like ChatGPT answers you in seconds, or even less than a second, instantly, and why it feels like magic. Let me start with something honest. The first time I used AI, I typed a question, pressed enter, and before my brain could even process my own question, boom, answer. Clear, structured, and confident. And I froze. I thought, wait, did it already know what I am going to ask this? What? No, I was going to ask this. How does something read my sentence, understand it, analyze it, and reply beautifully in 1 second? Is there a secret army of people typing behind the screen? Is there a supercomputer exploding somewhere? Or is it just magic? Let's break that illusion. So, first, how was it trained? Nobody sat and taught ChatGPT like a teacher in a classroom. It didn't go to school. It didn't read books one by one. Instead, it was trained on massive amounts of data of publicly available text, books, articles, websites, research, code, conversation, not to memorize answers, but to learn patterns. Imagine reading billions of sentences and learning. When someone says this, the next idea usually looks like this. It learns language like autocomplete on steroids. You type the capital of France is, it predicts Paris. But that's the simple question. Now imagine the prediction happening across philosophy, physics, coding, psychology, humor, and storytelling. It doesn't know facts like humans. It predicts the most likely next word based on patterns it learned during the training. But here's where it becomes powerful. It has billions of parameters. Think of them like tiny adjustable knobs in a massive digital brain. During training, those knobs are adjusted millions of times per second until the model become very good at predicting language. That phase 1. That's phase 1. Phase 2, human steps in. After a raw training, human reviews responses. They compare answers. They rank which one sounds better. They correct mistakes. The model learns from the feedback. This is why it doesn't just sound smart, it sounds helpful. It sounds like a human is talking. It, it learned not just to complete sentence, but to align with human expectations. That's why answer feels structured and neutral and natural. So, how the big question now? The big question: how is it so fast? This is where people imagine something dramatic. You type the question, it travels to a data center, a giant AI wakes up, it scans the entire internet, does complex calculation, then send back the answer. The answer is no. It doesn't search the internet every time. It doesn't think for minutes. Here's what actually happens. When you press enter by writing the question either in ChatGPT or any model, your text is broken into tokens, small pieces of words. Those tokens go through layers of neutral network. Each layer transforms the numbers slightly, the words slightly. The model predicts the next token, then the next, then the next. very, very fast. How fast? These data centers use specialized hardware, GPUs, and AI accelerators built specifically for matrix math. These chips can do trillions of calculations per second. For them, your question is small. It is like asking a supercomputer 2 plus 2. Easy. So it doesn't feel slow because the model is already trained. It is not learning in that moment, it is just running forward through fixed math, like a calculator but massively bigger. That's why you get responses in less than a second. But not because it is simple, but because the heavy work was already done during training. So, what about memory? Now, here's something interesting. People think it remembers everything I have ever said. Not exactly. There are two kinds of memory: short term memory, which is also known as context window in technical term, and long term memory, if it is enabled by the system. Short term memory is like working memory. It only remembers what's inside the current conversation window. If the conversation get too long, old parts get trimmed away. Why? Because the model can only process a limited number of tokens at once. It doesn't have infinite memory in one go. Long term memory, when available, is handled outside the model, stored separately, retrieved when needed. And the model itself doesn't store new knowledge permanently after each chat. It doesn't learn from you live. That's a common myth. So, why does it feel intelligent? So, I have to say this thing again. The model itself doesn't store new knowledge permanently after each chat. It doesn't learn from you live. That's a common myth. Myth. So why does it feel intelligent? That's a very interesting question because it mimics patterns of intelligence. When when something understand context, keep logical flow, adjust tone, explain step by step, makes jokes at the right time. Our brain says that's intelligence. But here's the truth. It is extremely advanced pattern prediction. It predicts the next best word, then the next, then the next. When prediction becomes extremely accurate, it looks like understanding. That's the illusion, and it is the powerful one. The real magic isn't that AI answers fast. The real magic is this: human knowledge compressed into mathematics. Billions of human written patterns encoded into numbers, running on silicon, responding in seconds. This is not magic, this is engineering at scale. Next time you press enter and the answer appears almost instantly, don't imagine a robot thinking hard. Imagine this instead: years of training, trillions of adjustment, massive hardware, optimized math, and a layer of probability firing in microseconds. It's not reading your mind, it's predicting language. It's at a level so refined it feels alive. And maybe the most fascinating part: it is not replacing human intelligence, it is built on it. Every great answer it gives is built from patterns human created. So when AI sounds brilliant, remember it learns brilliance from us. So that's it for today, guys, and we will be meeting in the new title. So till then, bye, and I'm Master Bros. Thank you for listening up.